So we're going to dive right into what the person you are not in contact with right now would say to you. We're going to get some messages from this person. What would your person say? If you were in contact, if you're wondering what they're thinking or what they really want to say to you. This could be your ex, this could be a family member. They want to say they've gone on a new path. There's been a new beginning. And I feel like they're a little mad at you. They'd be like, you better watch where you're going. You're gonna step in a hole. I feel like they're kind of making fun of you for going off on your own away from them. But let's see where that goes. What would they say? Oh, they were manipulative. Okay, so they're still manipulative. They would say manipulative things. They're like, oh, I hope you don't, drop all your tools you're manifesting with. Not in those words, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, I hope things go well for you. There's a lot of sarcasm coming through from this person right now. The Magician reversed is a very tricky, manipulative kind of energy. And I feel like this person also may be sending you bad vibes, things like that. Okay. They would blame it on you that they're having money problems right now. This is why they're hoping you drop your manifestation tools, which would equate to maybe, gosh, I hope you keep your job. Things like that, like said in a backwards kind of way, Those backwards what do they call them? Backhanded compliments you hear, people talk about. So there's something here about they would say that it's your fault that they lost a bunch of money. They're blaming you for money loss at this time. What else would your person say? They would say life has been really hard without you. Here's the 9 of Wands. If they, I'm not saying they would say that, but what I'm getting is their feelings, okay? So just to make it clear, what I'm getting here is, what I'm asking is if your person was honest, what would they really tell you? Okay, it started out very sarcastic, then it went to they're blaming you for money loss, and now we're over here to the truth of the matter is life has been very hard without you. They're having a hard time hanging on. They're kind of at the end of the rope. They're hanging by a thread is what I'm getting with this 9 of Wands. Feeling very drained, feeling out of resources and money. This is telling me you added a lot to their life and they're having a very hard time. Let's switch decks. If they were honest, what would they tell you? If they were honest, and again, this can be a coworker, this can be your ex, this can be a family member, this can be, children, adult children, things like that. Here it is again, 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, so if they were honest, they would say they felt very left out in the cold and lost. I get, there's a really lost vibe from this 5 of Pentacles. It's like they got locked out of your life, of your heart. They're feeling very cold. They don't know where they're going. It looks awfully warm inside that cabin, right? So when they stand back and look, there's a lot of regrets about being locked out of a home or not allowed back into your life or your home or your space or your lifestyle or whatever it was, because they're having a very hard time here. What else would they say if they were honest? Wow. They would say ever since they left you, there's been a dark cloud hanging over them. And this dark cloud is made of guilt. There's a lot of guilt here. It's almost like they can't get out of their own way. You can see these horses circling this man. Horses represent journeys, but it's like these horses look like they're going in circles around him, blocking him. And there's this dark cloud, and There's a lot of confusion. This can be Scorpio energy for some of you, you know, that you're dealing with a Scorpio. You could be the Scorpio. There could have been horses. There could have been, you know, maybe one or the other or both of you were involved in the horse world as well, you know, when I look at this. But this is a really strong energy of, if they're being honest, they miss you. They miss the life you had. They feel really guilty. They feel like they created this cyclone. You know, this is coming from all this energy that this person created. This whirlwind of kind of a storm. And the death card itself, you know, is having to do with endings, transitions, new beginnings. They feel like the relationship died, or they feel like you died even though you didn't. You know, it's like they experienced a death. That's what I'm trying to say. What would this person say if they were honest? We're getting a conversation from them today for you. Ooh, they feel really stuck. 8 of Swords. They feel very stuck in an oppressive situation. They don't want you to know. This is what they see deep down as their reflection. Blindfolded. They actually have the power to move on, but every time they look in the mirror, they're seeing themselves feeling like they can't see where they're going. You know, depression, things like that. They don't like what they see. When they look at themselves in the mirror, they do not like what they see. Okay. The person you've gone into contact with, or the person that you're no longer speaking to for whatever reason, whether you left a job or a family setting, you know, a relationship, a marriage, what would this person say to you? A few things here. Four of Wands. Sorry, 4 of Wands is having to do with marriage and houses and happiness and celebration. Some of them would say to you, hey, I moved on. And it's looking like a big party. They're trying to really fake it. I feel this fake energy. You can kind of see how the women on this card are celebrating, and they might be happy, but I feel like they're trying to make it look like they're happier than they really are. And I feel like this person's hanging out with new friends, or maybe has new girlfriends, or something like that. And I feel like they're flaunting this in some way. And I feel like this is what they would want to do with you. They would be like, oh, I'm happy, I've moved on, I've gotten remarried, or I have new friends, I bought a new house, you know, it's that kind of thing. But it's right beside these two things. So really, okay, that's what they would say. If they were being honest and they were talking to you, they'd say, oh, I moved on, but there's a fakeness about this. Yeah, and if they were honest, they would say, again, these are 2 celebration cards, and, you know, friendships, 3 of Cups, third parties, partying. There's a lot of partying going on here. I feel like if they were honest, what they'd be saying to you is, I just needed to go sow some wild oats, so to speak, you know, old expression. I just needed to get this out of my system. You know, I needed to go and, you know, hang out with people and just, you know, play. There's a lot of player energy with these 2 cards. I mean, 4 of Wands traditionally is not, but when it comes up here and here, you know, comes up in between oppression and 3 of Cups, kind of party, celebrating energy. Are they really celebrating? I mean, maybe they are. Some of them may be really happy, you know. They would try to tell you that they have a great lifestyle. So they went from feeling left out in the cold, losing money, blaming you for losing money, to there's something about lifestyle, and they're flaunting it. And 9 of Pentacles can be self-sufficiency. Let's see. What would they say to you if they were honest? Okay, that's what I thought. Because they would say all of this. You know, if you like ran into them in a grocery store and be like, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. I got remarried and I'm so happy and I got new friends and I got this great lifestyle. But there's a tower. Inside, there's all of this. Inside, it's like it's crumbling, it's falling apart. So, you know, on certain days, I'm sure they are happy. You know, I'm sure they're, you know, if the lifestyle's great and all that, whatever, and new friends and all that stuff. I want to ask, though, why did this tower come up? So this is kind of what they would say to you. We're just taking a deep dive. This is for the person you're no contact with, okay? What I'm getting here is things fell apart. Like the foundation fell out from under them when the two of you went no contact for whatever reason, or when you left the job, or when you quit going to family get-togethers or whatever. The whole structure changed. This is about structures falling apart, okay? I'm going to go to these relationship cards for a minute. These are pretty much for relationship. Let's ask, what would your person say if they were honest? What would the person you're no contact with say if they were honest at this time? If they were honest, what would they say? They would say the two of you are twin flames. Union, duality, complement, polar, opposites, yin and yang. Lots of balance. Twin flames, yeah. Yeah, so there was a really huge connection here, which is why there's so much faking it and feeling like their anchor was lost. You know, when you split from a twin flame, it is very much like a death, you know. It's like experiencing the death of part of yourself, like half of yourself. Oh, whoa, there it is again, guys. I was just saying it. So what they would say is there was a tragic ending. You know, this is the coffin card. So there's death card, there's twin flames, like I just said. And they would say, yeah, we're liberated now. We went on a new beginning. There's something about being reborn, a transition from a tragic ending. So they experienced this going on no contact with you as a death. It's almost like you died. They grieved. It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Let's switch over. Let's ask these cards a little bit more about what do they want you to know. If your person was honest, what do they want you to know? I'm not sure who needed to hear this, but I was feeling like I needed to dig into this for some of you all. And this, again, family, exes, whatever, whoever it is you've gone no contact with, what do they want you to know? King of Wands. Why are they saying King of Wands? You know, King of Wands can be a boss or supervisor, you know, somebody in the career, somebody ambitious, fire energy, you know, Sag, Leo, Aries kind of energy. But what do they want you to know? Why is that coming up? What do they want you to know? Oh, they want you to know that they were not truthful with you. You can see this King of Wands facing away. So we've got fire energy, we've got Pisces here. There was some kind of delusion with the Pisces. Some kind of delusion with the Pisces. And you can see these two towers crumbling. We had the tower earlier. Their whole world like collapsed when you walked away. I feel like you may have been one of the fire signs that went no contact with this person. I mean, this could have been them. I'm not sure. You place it where it needs to go. But when I see this King of Wands looking away, looking into the past. And when I see this Moon card with the, one of the towers crumbling and the card of illusion and untruths sometimes, intuition, high sensitivity. There was something here about a Pisces who was either seeing things as better than it really was, or Pisces was causing trouble and made you walk away, go no contact, maybe with a Pisces, or because of a Pisces. There's also a little crab here for Cancerian energies, a lot of water energy in this moon card. Let's see. So this person wants to tell you something about this situation. This person would want to say something about you walked away because of a Pisces, or you walked away because there was untruths. There was something they wouldn't acknowledge. Oh, and money. They think you walked away because of money. They also think you walked away because of juggling. There was juggling happening. They think you were focused on money. And maybe were. I don't, maybe you were. But I feel like they were critical of that. I could see it in her face. See? So this person looked critical, maybe a female figure that you walked away from, family member, boss, next. It's critical of money in some way, how you made money or something like that. And that you were in the limelight, that you were making money, doing something where you were the star. You were shining very brightly. And there was something about a Pisces. Hold on a second. What would they say to you? What would they say to you? Here's a Queen of Wands. Again, career, making money, being in the limelight. It's like this person, there may have been a comparison between you and the Pisces. Aquarius, this can be Aquarius energy, but then it came up with Queen of Wands too. I feel like career person who was in the limelight, shining very brightly. This person was critical of that in some way, or even jealous of that. There was juggling, maybe with the Pisces energy. Let's see what else. Hold on. What is this person going to say to you? This person you've gone no contact. They think they were being cold, but fair. They think they were being fair. Justice. This could have been Libra energy too. Very strict. I get a very strict kind of vibe. Like this person went strictly by the book. You can see in this picture. There could have been something legal that made the two of you go no contact as well. Something about something legal. And somehow they think it's fair. It came up upright. So it was fair for you. It may have made them juggle money. It may have had to do with a Libra, an Aquarius, a Pisces. There's several, and it could be a few people that you've gone no contact with because of this. All right, let's switch decks again. Let me get a little bit more on this. What would this person say to you? Why do we need to know? Why did this even come up? What does my collective need to know from this person they've gone no contact with? What would that person say, or what does that person want them to know? This person liked their life with you, or liked working with you, whatever context they were in. Here's Nine of Pentacles again. It's come up twice now. Nine of Pentacles, something about lifestyle. They were all about lifestyle. So they liked the lifestyle with you, and now they're trying to say, oh, we have a better lifestyle now. There's something about them trying to portray this to you in some way. This is about money. This is about self-sufficiency. That's what they want you to know. So they're trying to show this to you in some way. This is Knight of Wands. They want you to know they moved. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm laughing because, again, they're trying to fake it. They're trying to say, oh, I moved, I got this brand new house, I'm all happy, I got lots of money. They're trying to flaunt this so you'll feel bad that you went no contact with them. They're like, see what you lost out on? This is the person trying to, I saw this earlier, like fake it, you know, like we go back to this, they're like, oh, I hope you're happy, you know. There's a twofold thing here, even though I'm asking what would they say if they were honest, but what I'm getting is, honestly, they're trying to make you see how successful they are now. Because they weren't earlier. They were here in this Five of Pentacles lost energy. When you went no contact, there was a lot of loss and feeling left out in the cold, and now they're trying to be like, oh, look at me, you know, look at me. Let's see what else. This is a fast-moving energy, guys. This is Knight of Swords. Were police involved? Because my first intuitive thought when I saw this card was police. I feel like, I mean, we've got the Justice card and we've got Knight of Swords, and this could have been some sort of legal thing that happened really quickly, like came and went really quickly, and this is why you're no contact with this person, whoever it is. Could have been somebody you were committed to or married to. Also, this can be the court. You know, this can be police and a judge, court, and we had the Justice card over here somewhere. Here it is. All of these tell me there was a legal situation, and if they were honest, they wanted to like talk about that. What do they want to say about this legal situation? Well, they're saying that's when either they had to walk away or you walked away from them. There was a goodbye. There was a goodbye that happened with this legal thing. Judges, courts, maybe even churches. This card makes me think Catholicism specifically. Maybe there was some Catholic connection here somewhere. Confessions? I don't know. And what they want you to know, what they would tell you is, oh, wow. Okay, I'm asking, what do they want to tell you about this legal thing that happened for some of you? They had to say goodbye, but they would very much like to make you an offer. This person kind of wants to come back in and be your knight in shining armor, or your best friend, or your best boss ever, or change what they've done. And there's something about new love. There's still love here. It's like they walked away from all this love. Here's the moon again on this Eight of Cups card. And then there's Knight of Cups. Okay, so what do they... What kind of offer is that? Let's look. You know, maybe they're like, can you come back to work for us? We were, you know, let's see. Or can we get back together? Can we talk? This can be, you know, a message or an offer of love. It's from a King of Cups. It can be coming from a father. It can be coming from a very emotionally in tune man. at all these cups. There's something here in this part of this reading for sure about love, relationship, secrets. He has to do with secrets. It's like they want to talk about this legal thing. I almost feel like the no contact happened like with some sort of protective order or something where you weren't allowed to talk. There was no contact. There's an agreement there. Somebody went strictly by the book, and somebody had to say goodbye, and now it's like they wish they could talk about this. Like if they were being honest, if they could say, if they could really say what they want, they're not saying get lost, I hate you. They're saying there's still emotion here. They're saying I'd still like a chance. They're saying to me, I'd like to talk to you again. I'd like to offer you. What would they like to offer you? Now, whether or not you should take it or trust it is a whole other thing, okay? But I'm just asking this question right now. What they would say was there was a lot of arguing, that they take responsibility for a lot of this battle and arguing that went on, which caused the goodbye. What about this offer? They want to say, look, I've made something of myself. I have stability now. They want to offer you stability, or they want to offer you money or a new job, something to do with material resources here. Being in control of resources, money. That would come with this offer and new opportunities. They're like, look, we could have new opportunities. We could see what's out there. That's what I'm getting here. And again, I'm not saying you should even consider this. I'm just asking the question of what would they say? What do they want? Because I know a lot of times people are curious about, whoever they went no contact with. They wonder, what are they thinking now? What are they thinking on the anniversary date of when we, went no contact, or when we got divorced, or when I quit my job, or, when I quit calling my aunt, or, whoever this is to you, they'd like a new chance. So what I'm saying here is, in their mind, even though we went through all these different scenarios, in their mind, there's still feelings, love, hope, and they still see opportunities. And they want to offer you something better than they left you with, which is stability, money, resources. Let me switch decks one more time. Let's get final words here. Final words for this. I hope you all enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. Final words. Final words about this person. We're asking, if they were honest, what would they actually say? They miss you. Here's 6 of Cups. This is the nostalgia card. They think about you like every day. They think about when things were sweet and innocent, maybe when you were a child, or when the two of you first got together and you were both younger. If this is family, they're thinking about family. If it's family, they're thinking about how it used to be. They haven't let go, guys. I mean, that's just all it is to it. They have not moved on. Some of them are really trying to pretend they've moved on, but they haven't moved on. Again, there was a lot of pretending and flashy, oh look, we're so happy. And again, some of them may be, but the rest of this reading does not tell me they're happy at all. They're faking it. I get a lot of faking it. They might have a great lifestyle. They might have upgraded their money or their friend set, upgraded, in their mind, trying to flash it around. But what it comes down to is they miss you. So there you go, guys. So I'll leave it there today. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys again soon now. Bye.